Hi, welcome for RTL online trainings and placements. So in this session, we are going to discuss about Oracle EBS ERP software and Oracle Cloud Fusion Applications software. And what is the difference between these two? Why it is required? Why we have to talk about Oracle applications ERP software is nowadays, some clients are asking, do you have any idea about Oracle EBS ERP software? And do you know what is the difference between that? So we should have some minimum idea difference between these two ERP products. Okay, so that's the reason I'm just trying to take up this particular session. Okay, so first I'll come up with this. Let me take this here. Oracle applications EBS ERP. EBS stands for e-business suite. EBS stands for e-business suite. E-business suite. And then Oracle Fusion Applications Cloud ERP software. This is another one. So this is another one, and this is going to be this option here. It is. Okay. So we are going to have two ERPs. Both are Oracle ERP products. Both the products are Oracle ERP products here. So we are going to find the options here. Let me just merge the cells. Oracle Corporation has developed both the ERPs. This Oracle EBS ERP software, it was established in 1994. In 1994, Oracle Fusion Applications in 2014. In 2014. Okay. Now release 12 is the latest version. You will find 12.0.0 and 12.2.1, 12.2.2. Like these versions are there. In Fusion Applications, we know that release 13, now 23A, next to 23B, next to 23C, 23D, next to 24A, 2024. Like that, it will go on. Like that, it will go on. Okay. So here, so the question is first, what is the difference between EBS and Oracle Fusion Cloud? Both are ERP products. If client buy the EBS software, they can take this software and install in their servers. It is called on-premises. On-premises, no cloud here. Here, only cloud. Cloud in the sense, Oracle servers we have to use. On-premises is nothing but client servers. Client is going to have the servers. Client will establish their own server. Server is a hardware that we don't need to worry about that. That's the that's the case. Take care of the Oracle DBS. Oracle DBS will take care of that. So every client will go for recruit the Oracle DBS, Oracle Apps DBS, and they'll take care of it. Okay. So Oracle applications, it is there since 1994. Since 1994, it is there. It's more than 20 years. The legacy is there. This ERP product, thousands, maybe more than lakhs of also, more than 1 lakh clients also might be there across the world. They are using this EBS application. But in 2014, what Oracle has thought going forward, it means around 7-8 years back, Oracle has thought going forward, the clients will be expecting web applications, and it will be difficult for them to maintain their own servers. It will be difficult to maintain their own servers like this. Okay, so like this, their own servers, it is difficult because every business is moving to the web, moving to the smartphones, and moving to the tab pieces, right? Now our employees wants to connect from anywhere. Employees, suppliers, customers, public, an entire application should be in a position to launch from any device, either desktop or tab piece or smartphone. That's what the main agenda of that. We can call it as complete digitalization. Nowadays, companies wanted to take the feedback through the social sites, through Instagram or through LinkedIn or through Facebook or through YouTube. There are n number of professional websites are there, professional social sites are there. There they wanted to take the feedback from the customers. So then they wanted to integrate with the product. So for that particular current generation, this ERP is not suitable. That does not have those many features. In fact, that architecture will not support to design those features. For example, mobile app. If I want to build the mobile app applications from here, then it is difficult for, we cannot do that in the EBS, whereas in Fusion applications can be done very easily. Okay, so that's the reason from 2014 onwards, Oracle has started working with cloud, and they have released now in 2023. We are right now got an excellent feedback from the customers, but still there are some clients. 90% of the EBS clients still they have not moved from on-premises into the cloud. Only 10% of the clients has moved from EBS to Fusion Cloud ERP software. Now the projects which we are getting maximum new customers, they might be using some other ERP software. They are not from Oracle EBS ERP software. But still, nowadays, what clients are expecting is when they are trying to recruit the consultant, they are expecting a consultant who can work in both the ERPs or who can have some knowledge about EBS, some basic knowledge about EBS. Why we require basic knowledge? Okay, if there is a consultant saying that I am a EBS 3 years experience consultant and I am a Fusion 2 years experience consultant, then what organization will think? If I recruit this consultant, if there are any EBS projects, I can utilize his skills. If there are any Fusion projects, I can utilize the skills. Okay, a person who has learned EBS and worked, and a person who has learned in Fusion and is working, they can go ahead with that. But let's say we can say EBS, I have some knowledge and I'm having experience in Fusion 4 years. This is what we can put it. Okay, if you put this, what is the advantage? If you say I have some knowledge in Fusion, sorry, in EBS, what will be the benefit for the organization is, let's say you are working in Fusion applications, human capital management, and you are trying to work as a functional consultant. What we'll do as generally functional consultant, will do the setups, right? And the data is there from the legacy system. Your client is using EBS software. They want to migrate that data from legacy systems into Fusion applications. So during the migration process, we are supposed to define the mapping between the two systems. That is a functional job. We don't develop the program as a functional consultant. Anyway, we'll take one session about that migration process and all. So as a functional consultant, we are supposed to understand both the systems business flow. And then we have to design mapping between the systems, and we have to design that data migration process flow. Then technical consultant will follow that flow and build the programs, and he will try to migrate the data from legacy systems into Fusion applications. Okay, so in case if you are putting this one in the resume, then I'm just trying to show you how the differences between this EBS. If you say I'm not going to put EBS ERP in my profile, then this session you can just go through for knowledge point of view. If you say that yes, we can go ahead with learning a couple of things here. Okay, so EBS is going to have username, will create as usual. Here also we'll go for create username. So username, not only in HCM, finance, HCM, supply chain, same modules. If you go to HCM, global HR, payroll, options, everything will find talent. Same names here also, finance, APR, GL, fixed assets, supply chain management, procurement, inventory, sourcing, order management, supplier portal, everything will find here it is. Okay. So here also will create username, here also will create username. But here, username creation. So we'll launch like this. We are going to enter the username like this. This is username. Okay. So whereas in Fusion applications, once you get, if you want to create your own credentials, we used to tell that we have to go to Tools menu, Security Console. Tools menu, Security Console. Okay, that is. So here in Oracle applications, we call it as a AOL, Application Object Library. AOL is a combination of two responsibilities. What are that? System administrator and application developer. So two responsibilities. Same thing in Fusion applications also. We will call it as implementation roles. What are that? IT security manager. Another one is application implementation consultant role. Here we call it as a responsibility. Here we call it as a role. That is the difference. In Oracle EBS ERP software, we call it as a responsibilities. I can see the responsibility. When I expand this, okay, you got some error message. Let me log in again. So here you are going to, when you expand, you are getting menu options, right? Same thing in Fusion applications also. Once we log in, you'll go to navigator, right? See, when I click on this, when I click on my client groups, I'm getting these options. How you are getting my client groups? By adding the role called human resource specialist. When I click pay receivables, I'm getting some menu. How you are getting this? Because you have added the role called account receivables manager. When I click order management, I'm getting these options because you added the role called order orchestration manager. Like that roles we are going to add. So based on the roles you are getting. Same thing here, we are going to add the responsibilities. We are going to add the responsibilities that you are going to get it. Okay. So in EBS, we call it as responsibility, whereas in Fusion applications, we call it as roles. That is the major difference we have to understand. Okay. So if I want to create my username and password, generally what I'll do, I'll go to system administrator, security, user, and define. Once I create a username, then I can assign my username to the employees, person, customer, supplier. I can assign it, right? Same thing in Fusion applications also. Once you go to tools menu, security console, go to security console here, go to users tab. We are trying to create a user account. So here we'll enter the user details and we'll try to assign the user to the employees. Here you can go for assign. Generally, we will hire an employee, automatically user account will be created. Here also that facility is there. Okay, in HRMS, we have to do that. Or in manage users, same task here is there. Then we'll go for add the roles. Here what we will do, we will add the responsibilities. Once username is created, then we will go for add the responsibilities over here. We'll go for add the responsibilities over here. Okay, so that's the difference. In EBS, we call it as AOL, Application Object Library, whereas in Fusion applications, we call it as implementation users. Whenever it comes to the organization here, system administrator and application developer, two responsibilities. Here, IT security manager role, application implementation. Here, responsibilities we call it, and we call it as role here. Okay. After employee creation, user creation. Next, what we configure, enterprise structure configurator. That is common. Here we call it as multi-org structure. Multi-org structure. Here we will call it as enterprise structure configurator. Okay, in multi-org structure, first business group will be defined. Here we are going to define enterprise. After the enterprise business group, we are going to have ledgers. Then here also we are going to have ledgers. Here we are going to have business units. Then here also we have Business units comes in fusion applications. Here operating units we are going to have. Then we have the inventory organization. Inventory organization, sub-inventories, stock locations, items. These all are common. These three comes within the inventory. We don't need to worry about these three. It comes within the multi-org structure, and here enterprise structure. Here we call it as enterprise structure. Okay, so business group here we call it as enterprise, or we call it as a LDC. After enterprise we have LDC, right? We'll compare with the legislative data group. Within that ledgers, here also same. Ledger, no difference. Currency, calendar, chart of accounts, no difference. Operating unit is here, business units. The remaining is common. Here also, no difference in that. No difference here. Okay, so only name is changed, and another one is we are going to have, let me save this file, EBS and fusion ERP difference and terminology differences we are discussing. Okay, so in multi-org structure, business group is nothing but here LDC, ledgers common, operating unit, business units, inventory, sub-inventory. The new concept here what we have is reference data set. Here we don't have that concept. In EBS, we don't have a reference data set concept. For example, if you want to create a payment term, you have to do it for every operating unit. You have to do it for every operating units we are supposed to perform. Here you can create one time and assign to multiple operating units at a time. We can do it for multiple operating units at a time. Over here it is. Okay, so that's about the enterprise structure and multi-org difference. Here we can find. Let me show you. In HRMS module, we will be creating that. In HRMS, we will go for configure this particular. People are nothing but employees. When you go for enter and maintain new. So here employee details, personal details, employment, applicant, rehiring process, medical information, employee address, employee picture, employee assignment. Special information is nothing but a flux fields. Special information is nothing but flux fields we are going to configure over here. It is. Okay, so that we will be specifying over here. Same thing here we are going to have. So whenever we are talking about the application here in fusion applications, let's say I'm just trying to log in as finance consultant. First we'll come up with the finance. Now, when we want to create an invoice here, let's go to payables, invoices. Now I can find here invoice from spreadsheet, recurring invoices, search for the invoices, validate invoices, invoice approvals. This is all we have, right? Same thing here also we can find. If I go for, we have to change the switch responsibility. Payables, right? We'll go to the responsibility. So there we call it as role name, we are going to choose the role. Here we call it as responsibility. Choose this responsibility. Invoices, entry, invoices. In EBS, we are calling it as operating unit here. Then we'll choose invoice type, supplier details, invoice date, invoice number. Here also same. When I open the invoice page, this is web pages. That is Windows type pages. It's very old here. As I said, 94, 95. So that time the expectations was that, see, it is asking business unit, supplier, site, and then invoice number, amount, invoice type, right? Payment, headers, lines, taxes, and after that we are going to have distribution. Same thing here also. We'll find the headers information and lines information. Okay, I'll just perform one operation. Invoice creation, I'm just doing. Same, we'll find advanced corporation, supplier site. Invoice date, I'm going to choose. Same periods will be checked whether it's open period or not. Invoice number, the value is already exist. Amount, any tax you have. Go to lines. Okay, GL date is not entered. Enter the GL date is nothing but accounting date. Periods are not open. Let me take some other date. Go to lines. Amount. See, accounting combination. This is our accounting flux field, right? This combination. If you want to enter multiple combination, we'll go to distributions. So distribution also we can enter here. Save. Once invoice is created, what we have to do? First, we have to validate the invoice. After that, what we have to do? If approval is there, approve the invoice. Then you have to create accounting transactions. Then transfer accounts to GL. First, I'm going to validate. So where do we find all this? Here also same, right? This validate, approval, accounting transaction, transfer to GL. The same information you are going to enter. So financial consultant can easily understand this. So invoice is validated. Approvals. I'm going for force approval. Manually approved. Then I'm going to create accounting transactions. There are three options here if you want to create accounting: draft, final, final post. But whereas in EBS, you don't have draft. Sorry, you have a draft. Final is not there. Direct final post we have. That we have directly over here. Okay. So next you have pay in full, cancel invoice, delete invoice, manage holds. These are all options. Every, see, cancel invoice, validate, apply, unapply prepayments, pay in full. Okay. So final post, accounts will be generated and transferred to the GL. Validated, accounted. And where do we find accounting information? Where do we check that? We will go to reports. So view accounting options. Let's search for the invoice, copy, and then go for close this. Go to manage invoices here. Same invoice number we have, duplicate invoice numbers, but supplier is different. Supplier is different. Dell and Advantage Corporation we have over here. And then I can see the accounting information here. Is accounts generated? No. Accounted is not done. Create accounting, final post. Online accounting could not be created for this transaction. Okay, so we need to run the program, create accounting program. So you don't have the option to go for. Okay, so when you want to run the programs, generally in Fusion, what we will do? If we want to run the programs, we'll go to Navigator, Tools menu, and then we are going to Scheduled Process. We call it as a job or process here in Fusion applications. Here we'll choose the program and go for submit. In fact, we can schedule the programs also, depends on the requirement. We can put on hold, we can cancel it, we can go for resubmit and check the log file, output file. This all we can find, right? This same thing, you can find the scheduled information, input parameter details. Same thing here we have. Let's go to view menu requests. There tools menu scheduled process. Here view menu requests. Submit. We are submitting the program called create accounting to create accounting transactions. It is asking for which ledger you want to create. So the same parameters almost you will find it here also. Let me show you. Go to invoices. There is an option here, create accounting transactions for all the invoices which are pending and transfer accounts to GL. So it is asking ledger, subledger application, ledger, category, end date, accounting date. Maybe we'll find more parameters, but almost the main parameters are same. Process category, end date, mode, process events is a new parameter, reporting styles, transfer, post in GL, transfer to GL, general ledger, batch name, include user transaction identifiers. See, the same parameters, right? And I'm trying to run this program. Here we call it as concurrent program. Here we call it as a process or job. We call it as a process or job. We can go for schedule it. We can schedule the programs here. Click advanced button. If you want to schedule this for future dates, one time or multiple times, we can schedule the processes from here, right? Hourly or minute or daily, weekly, monthly, yearly, depends on the requirement. Every month I want to submit this monthly. How many days? Week of the month, first day of the month, Monday. Like this, I want to do it for 1 year. You can go for submit like this. Okay. Let's go for same thing here also we can do. So we can take this submit new program, copy previous programs. There is a button here, schedule. Click this schedule button. One time, periodically, specific days. There's all options we are going to have it. Okay. So this is about the scheduling process. So in EBS, we call it as concurrent program. Here we call it as job or process. In EBS, we used to go to SRS window, standard request submission, and submit the program. Here we call it as scheduled process. Scheduled process will go. Of course, scheduling option is common everywhere that we will find. And we have value sets, descriptive flux field, key flux field, common. Here also we have value sets, same words we will use. Descriptive flux field is there, key flux field is there. Additionally, we got extensible flux fields. Here also we have in HCM, we call it as EIT and SIT. Actually, extensible flux field in fusion applications introduced in all the domains, finance, supply, HCM, everywhere. But in EBS, it was there only in human capital management, EIT and SIT. EIT and SIT. So The DFF and KFF, of course, it's there in EBS, it's there in Fission Accounting. Key flux field is common, and we have other key flux fields here around 35 or 36 key flux fields, whereas in Fission applications we have only the 11 key flux fields. That's the difference. Remaining value sets here we have totally 8: independent, dependent, table, none. Here also we have, here we call it as none, here we call it as format only. The remaining all are common. We don't find much difference here. The concept wise all are same. Don't find any difference over here. It is. Okay, next let's come back to here. Now we'll talk about the security point of view. In EBS, how the security will be maintained, whereas in Fission applications, how the security will be maintained. In EBS, we are going to add the responsibility first. We'll add the responsibility. When you add the responsibility, what happened? User can open the page or form. Same thing here also, we'll do it role. Here we will customize the responsibilities. According to the requirement, we'll customize the responsibilities. Here we will customize the roles and we'll create new roles as per the client requirement. And once the roles are added, what we'll do here? Data access set will provide. Whereas in HCM, we have something called security profiles. Here also same. Here what we will do, we will go for configure profiles. We'll go for configure the profiles and the security profiles. Security profiles are common everywhere. Okay. So here we call it as profile. Here we call it as a data access set. Okay. So in data access set, what we used to do, let me show you. Security in human capital management, it is a simple data role will create indirectly job role with security profiles we are going to have. Let's go to data access set. Manage data access for users. Here we are going to choose the username and role name, security context and value. Same thing here also. We'll go to system administrator and we'll choose profile, system and user. We'll choose and the profile name we are going to choose here. And we'll go for select the responsibility and assign the value here. Here we are going to assign. Like in EBS, we have vision operations. Like in Fission, we call it as US1 legal entity, US1 business unit, like that. Okay, so that's the difference. So in case in EBS, if they ask you what is the difference between security wise here and as well as the security wise here, we can find the differences over here like this security wise. Okay, so other than this, these are main topics like overall the product information we are going to find a very high level. These are the terminology, concurrent program, AOL, security, implementation users. Those all we are going to have it here. It is. Okay. Thank you.